I think in the short term, it can be a challenge for nonprofits who are on the ground trying to figure out how to, what I call, feed more hungry children, provide direct services today. However, I think for the fundraisers in the crowd, it's an amazing opportunity. Because while many of our peers might be paralyzed by the word recession type economy, those of us who get out there and go and talk to prospective donors have an opportunity to lay the groundwork for when times change. Fewer people are asking, and when people are ready to give, those who are out there now are planting seeds that they will be easy to reap, I think, in the long term.
I agree with that. One of the core values of AFP is a crushable optimism, sort of a funny little phrase, but I think when you sit around and talk to a lot of the fundraisers at the different agencies, it can be, again, it can be challenging when you get a grant that maybe last year was 20 grand and this year it's 10. Okay, so how are you going to work with that? But I think it's also an opportunity for the nonprofits to get back to some of the basics. I had a friend email me that she does some consulting work. One of the things that she is doing is working with her agencies to actually get them to get back to the ask and just do the fundamentals and get back to the root of what they were doing as an agency. And I think it also allows us the opportunity to be creative. Where are our relationships? Where are we in talking with our donors honestly about, okay, you can't fulfill that pledge this year. Okay, let's plan for what might be able to happen next year. So I think it can be challenging, but I think we shouldn't be, like Patsy said, we shouldn't be paralyzed by it.
We did a study this summer, a survey along with United Way that showed that 66% of the nonprofits in this community have experienced an increase or a significant increase in the demand for their services. And at the same time, 54% had experienced a decrease or a significant decrease in the revenues to do that. And so some people on the face of it might see that as a holy crap, moment, which many of you have probably had that. How do we meet a 66% increased demand with half of the resources? And so that's going to be very challenging. At the macro level, though, we're bullish and optimistic that this sector is doing creative things broadly. I'm hearing more and more from nonprofits that are willing to go places with their business model, with their partnerships and collaborations, with mergers, with other things that, had it not been for the challenge of this economy, they might not have been willing to go there. And so it's bringing out an incredible amount of creativity that I see as a big silver lining.
Mary Beth, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, well, I mean, you have to agree. It's both a challenge and an opportunity. And let's face it, we are very lucky to live in Austin, Texas. I mean, would anybody here want to have woken up in Detroit, Michigan this morning? I don't think so. Whatever we're experiencing, we know we've got it so much better than so many other parts of the country. And we do know, Matt talked about the 66% seeing more need. And 54% seeing fewer resources, financial resources. Those are not necessarily the same groups.
Right.
Because quite honestly, there are some groups, because their donors know that they are seeing extremely more need. They have had some donors who said, because this is really important to me, and have stepped up. And so they're actually, I won't say it's a lot of people, but there are some people, because there is a real emphasis on trying to make sure that they have the resources they need, that are seeing a little financial boon to help match the need they're experiencing it. And we've all got to use these opportunities to learn how to be more efficient, to see, are we doing it the best way? Because it's very easy when times are good to do everything the way we've been doing it, because it's the way we've been doing it, and it's working just fine. We don't have to say, we often don't stretch ourselves, and so that's the opportunity here, is to be creative, to be more strategic, and thinking through, how can we serve more on the same dime or dollar. And quite honestly, I don't know any sector, and I know people say all the time, oh, the nonprofit sector needs to operate more like a business, and the truth is, the business sector, if they knew how to operate like a nonprofit, the nonprofit sector, and stretch $1 to make it go as far as it does, I mean, we might not have been in this economic situation, a couple times. So, I'm not a big buyer into that, But I think, these are the times where we need to look at what we're doing and say, okay, how can we do it better? Because there's no, this is the sector that looks to say, how can we serve more? And we are always, frankly, we shortcut our infrastructure in order to do that. And so the question is, how do you make that balance too?